So, to end our interesting topic, we're going to look at choices. We all have to make choices in life, right? We all have to make choices. Okay, so here, 75% of this lesson is going to be centered on choices. Okay, so what's the first choice we need to think of? Hiring or owning transportation? What should you choose? Do you want to buy a VITS? For those who don't know what a VITS is, okay, should I say, do you want to buy a vehicle for your cakery business, or should you be using Yango Daily? It's a decision that has to be made. Your business is doing well. It has money to buy its own vehicle, but is it the right decision? Okay, so choices. So we're going to start with advantages of owning your own transport. Okay, the first is it is cheaper and profitable, where a company produces enough goods to keep trucks busy. Okay, so if you are producing lots of cakes, it's good to have your own vehicle. Okay, so that vehicle can always be working. Why? Because to buy that vehicle, it needs a lot of money. 100,000, for example, 100,000 kwacha. So you buy that vehicle. So now that vehicle cannot just be sitting; it has to be running. Okay, so that it helps you to make profit on a regular basis, so that you recover the amount you invested in buying that vehicle. So that's the thinking there. Okay. Also, the vehicles that you own can be used as a media of advertising. Okay, so you can put somewhere where it says Janet's Cakery or something. Okay, you put a printed material there. Okay, so when you put a printed material there, as the vehicle is moving, people get to know about you, and yes, you can use your vehicle as a way of advertising. And also, goods can be delivered at any time. A client wants cake at 23 hours, you can deliver in no time. Also, as much as, let me say that again, the fact that you can deliver at any time, you can also collect materials and equipment at any time. Also, since it's your vehicle, so you're in charge of the entire process of delivering items from point A to point B, so more care for goods is taken when using your own fleet. It also requires less documentation. It's your vehicle, no need for documentation. Okay. Now we take a look at what is on the other side of a coin. We know the advantages of having your own vehicle. Don't get too excited. Maybe it may not be a good idea for a business to have a vehicle. Maybe you need just to be using Yango Daily. Okay? So what are the advantages of hiring transportation? Okay? First, capital cost is saved. You won't have to spend that 100,000 kwacha to buy a VIDS. No? Okay? Also, running and maintenance cost is saved. As you are using your own vehicle, you will have to maintain it in case it is damaged. Okay, as you are using it on a day-to-day basis, we will have tear and wear. That is, some parts are going to be becoming bad, and you need to replace them. It needs to be maintained. It needs servicing. It needs insurance. Okay, so if you don't have a vehicle but you're using, you are just hired in transportation, running and maintenance cost is saved. Okay, then another important one which you may overlook is saving on problems relating to crew. Okay, crew, it's the team that's going to do the delivery, the driver, maybe the people going to pack the items and the likes. If you are hiring transport, the owners of the transport may handle that for you. Okay, so you don't have to deal with those problems. And by problems, I just don't refer to the issues of salaries, paying them. It may be theft. It may be, you know, any other things where people are. There are lots of problems. Okay, so you don't have to deal with those. Okay. Also, you don't have to be paying taxes for the vehicle. So those are the advantages of using someone else's transport, not yours. So now we know the advantages and the disadvantages. So you, as the owner of your business, what factors should you be considering when choosing to hire or to own a transport mode? Okay, so we have to take from the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so in summary, we have to look at the capital cost. Can I manage 100,000 without affecting my business? Frequency of use. Am I going to be using this mode of transport that much? If you want to, like your business needs to be using transport all the time, you need to buy your own transport. Okay. Also, the nature and scope of business matters. Okay. Your business is a barber shop. Maybe the only supplies you get is methylated spirit, shampoo. So you don't need to own your own transport. Also, business certainty. Are you sure that the business is going to continue for the next 2 years, 3 years? Yes, buy a vehicle. No, don't buy. Also, is there availability of rental transportation? Maybe where you are, there's no rental transportation. There's no Yango Daily. So you are not in Lusaka or Kitwe or Ndola, so there's no Yango Daily. So then you won't be able to there'll be no rental transportation. There'll be no transportation which you can rent. Okay, so that is also a factor. Also, freight charges of rental transportation. How much is Yango Daily? Are you going to be making profit if you're using Yango Daily? So that's also another factor you have to think or to consider. Also, crew costs. The crew, how much is it going to be costing me? Okay, let's learn to make more choices. Okay, you are located in Itejiteji. You want to send your pumpkins to Kafue. Which mode of transport can you use? Is it rail? Is it road? Is it air? Is it sea? Is it a pipeline? Or is it a combination of these? Okay, so here are some of the factors you have to consider when choosing the mode of transport. First, it's the freight charges. How much? Okay. Second, it's availability. Do you have it in your area? The mode of transport you want to use. Third is coverage. Okay. Does it reach where I want it to take the items? Okay. Fourth is the topography. Topography is the general landmark. Okay, you are in Itejiteji, there's no sea, and you are thinking of using sea transport. Okay, so the landmark matters. Okay, or maybe you're in Itejiteji, and Itejiteji is, for example, Itejiteji is here. Then where you want to send it somewhere on top in terms of landmark, then you want to construct a pipeline. It cannot work. Also the distance. Okay. If the distance is longer and you have access to a rail transport, use rail. Don't use road. Okay. Also agency. You cannot use ship to transport goods that are urgently needed. Also the value of cargo. Okay. Remember, rail transport is for low value cargo. So high value cargo, avoid rail. Also the nature of the same cargo. Okay, is it breakable? Does it need special containers to be put in refrigerators? Okay, what is trending in transport? What is now trending in transport? Not the kind of trending on on social media, but what are the recent developments in transportation? So the first is chartered transportation. We have discussed chartered transportation, which is centered on renting. Okay, then there is air freight. It's also happening. There is also express routes which take direct to the destination. There are also roll-on, roll-off ferries. Okay, so of course they are called RoRo. Okay, that's the short word for roll-on, roll-off ferries. RoRo, RO. Okay, these are the ones that carry loaded trucks, etc. Okay, there's also a development of trading blocks. Trading blocks is a group of countries that have come together and have agreed to make trading between them easy. Therefore, movement between these countries, it's easy. Okay, there's also a growth of containerization. Okay, which we have discussed. Also, there has been an introduction of main routes or highways which are made for heavy transport vehicles. So these are highways just for trucks. Only trucks can pass there, meaning trucks won't be disturbed by small vehicles. Okay. Also, the obstacles and crossings have been reduced, which means goods can move quickly from point A to point B. So these are the recent trends in transportation. Oh, one more, which of course is summation of most of these aspects, speed transportation. Okay. Okay, so we're going to end this lesson by looking at port authority and some facilities that people or passengers may have at ports. Okay, so port authority can either be the government department or an independent agency that controls the seaport and their facilities to ensure efficiency at the seaport. Okay, so that's what a port authority is. Okay, it's just, you know, a body that controls the activities of a given port. It can be a government department or just an independent agency. Okay, so here are the responsibilities of the port authorities. First, they provide navigation facilities to control air and sea traffic. Okay, so they make sure that they control how the ships are moving. Okay, they also maintain air traffic control tower or lighthouses. Okay, lighthouses are used at the sea for the when it's dark, for the seas to for the ship to see where the port is. Okay, so it's a big building, a tall building. On top there, it's always at night it has a light which people can see. Okay, so then for air, that is air transport, they are what are called control towers. Okay, they also maintain runways. Okay, I mean runways is when a train is landing. Okay, that's a runway there. Okay, berths and docks. Okay, they also fuel planes and ships. Okay, so we're talking about airports and seaports, the port authorities. Okay. Okay, so I think the definition here was centered on the seaport. I was supposed to include airport as well. Okay, so port authority can either be the government department or an independent agency that controls the seaport or airport and their facilities to ensure efficiency at the port. Okay, that should be a correct definition. So not just seaport, but airport and seaport. Okay, and efficiency at the airport or seaport. Okay, they also provide supplies to the planes or ships before departure. They also sign agreements with other port authorities on a variety of issues. Okay, because a ship or a plane has to move from this port to another port, so they have to. The two ports need to be in agreement. So those agreements are signed by port authorities. They also maintain planes or ships before departure. They also provide facilities to passengers and traders, such as maybe cafes, internet, etc. They also ensure that they arrange for security at the ports and also when the plane or ship is moving. They also they also have they also give permits to motorboats, light airplanes. In case you want to travel using a motorboat or a light air, they can give you a permit. And finally, they provide hangar facilities or wet or dry docks. Okay, so these are the responsibilities of port authorities. So now, what are some of the facilities at airports or seaports for passengers and traders? What are some of the facilities that are provided by the port authority to the passengers or traders? Okay, so there are what are called passenger lounges. There are also fire extinguishers in case there is a fire. First aid is always there. Internet facility, you can access the internet. Of course, some airport may require you to pay. A cafe, there are cafes there. A washroom, a shopping area. Most of them, they have got malls, banks. Okay, most of them have banks. Transportation. Okay, that is other modes of transportation like road. So if in case you reach Lusaka, you are coming from outside the country, so to be transported from Lusaka airport to intercity, you need a vehicle. So they also have offices of airline companies or shipping companies if it's a seaport. They also have hotel reservation offices in case you want a hotel to stay in. They also have warehouses. You have come with cargo, so you can put your cargo in a warehouse. So this marks the end of this lesson. See you in the next lesson.